Hey guys, welcome to the J-Chip Show. My name is J-Chip, and today we're going to be recapping the games that I've beaten in 2024. Did I reach my goal of 40? Let's see. So for starters, let's go over the digital games I beat before we get into the physical stuff. And I'm not going to go into any specific order from the first game I beat to the last game I beat. I'm just going to go by console just because I think that's a bit more fun that way. The very first game I beat, ironically, was a digital game, and that would be Golden Axe on the Sega Genesis. Now, I didn't actually play this on a Sega Genesis, I played it through Nintendo Switch Online, but I still had a really good time, and I thought the game was fun. Maybe this year I'll go back and play 2 and 3, and how was that 360 Golden Axe game? Next up, I beat Yooka-Laylee on the Switch. A pretty fun game, a nice 3D platformer. Reminded me a lot of Banjo-Kazooie, but wasn't as good as that. But I do have a review of this game if you want to check out what I thought in detail. But yeah, Yooka-Laylee wasn't bad. Next up, I beat Super Mario Odyssey. Now, I know I'm very late to the party on that one, but hey man, it is what it is. I really enjoyed that game. That was a fun Mario game, and I'm kind of upset that it took me so long to get around to it. It's not my favorite of the 3D Mario games. That would still be Super Mario Galaxy 1. But Mario Odyssey is definitely in like the top 3 if I had to rank them. But yeah, Mario Odyssey was fantastic. Next game I beat was on the PS5, and that was Silent Hill Short Message. I'm really hyped for Silent Hill 2 Remake. I know it's already out, but I haven't played it yet. But huge Silent Hill fan, so I saw that this was a free game. And it's pretty short. It's only like 3 levels. And I thought it was good. It wasn't too bad. It was just pretty short. Next up, I beat Pac-Man World Re-Pac for the PlayStation 5. And it was a pretty solid game. It's a remake of the PS1 version. And I enjoyed it. It was pretty short, but it was fun. I still enjoy Pac-Man World 2 the most though. Next up, I played Snatcher on the Sega CD. Now, unfortunately, I do not have a Sega CD or a physical copy of this game because that would be really sweet. I love Snatcher. That was an amazing story, an amazing game. Great music, great graphics, just a great game. I wish that Konami would re-release that game because it's really good. And unfortunately, it's very expensive, so yeah. But Snatcher was amazing. Highly recommended if you can get a chance to either emulate it like I did, or if you have the money to get it, go get it. It's really worth it. It's a good game. And the final game that I beat that was digital was Star Fox on the Super Nintendo through the Nintendo Switch Online. And that was a cool game, but man, is it janky. I much prefer Star Fox 64. In fact, I think that game still holds up to this day, but yeah, Star Fox on the Super Nintendo is very janky, but it was pretty cool. Good music, and I'm glad I beat it. So yeah. And now that we got the digital games out of the way, let's get to the physical games that I beat in 2024. And I'm going from smallest amount to largest amount for a console that I played the most on. So first up, for the Nintendo Switch, the only one that I beat physically was Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I beat this way back in January, and I really enjoyed this game. I thought it was really fun. Not my favorite of the 2D Mario games. Obviously, I prefer Mario World and Mario Bros. 3, but this is a phenomenal game still. And I like this more than the new Super Mario Bros. That came out on the DS, the 3DS, Wii U. Stuff like that. This was a pretty fun game. And I would like to see, if they do make another Mario Maker, use some assets from this game, because I think that would be really cool to see what kind of levels that they can make with the Wonder Flower, or the Wonder Seed, I mean, and yeah, it would be really cool. I would like to play this again someday. So a bit of a spoiler for my Video Games Monthly and Pickups video. I got a PS3 on Christmas, and this is one of the games I got for Christmas, and that's Madden 13. It was a PS3 game that I wanted to play because the goal always is to beat a game on every console I own, and PS3 is now one of them. And I knew this game was pretty short and pretty easy. I love Madden games. This one's not the best one. I think the franchise mode, well, there's not really a franchise mode in it, but you play as a created character and you go to the Super Bowl and you win that. and it's pretty fun, I guess, gameplay-wise, but there's not a lot of creativity to this one. On YouTube, there's a YouTuber named, what's his name? Soft Drinks. Yeah, I had to look him up. His name is Soft Drinks TV. He does a phenomenal retrospective on all the Madden games, and he's really good. He knows what he's talking about, and yeah, it's made me want to go and check out some of the older Madden games on the PS2 that I missed, or even like some of the older Madden games on the PS3, like Madden 09 or 08. But yeah, looking forward to checking that out. But as far as Madden 13 is concerned, it's a fun game, but like a lot of the creativity is gone for this one. So yeah, and also Calvin Johnson was pretty cool. Next up on the Wii, I only beat one game for that, and that was Mad World. And this is a phenomenal game. This is really fun. I love the aesthetic of the black and white, but the only color that you do see is red because of all the carnage that's around. You also see yellow, but you're mainly going to be seeing a lot of red. Just a lot of fun. It's a fun hack and slash game. The motion controls really aren't that bad. The story is kind of whatever, but it's still pretty cool. The voice acting is phenomenal. Steve Bloom is in it, so of course it's going to be good. And I don't know, I really enjoyed this game a lot. So yeah. Next game I beat on the PS5 was Star Wars Jedi Survivor. A pretty fun game. Overall, I much preferred Jedi Fallen Order, but this wasn't bad. It was fun. It was a bit more open compared to Jedi Fallen Order, but yeah. The story was good. However, I was not a fan of how this game sort of ended. It kind of felt like they were rushing to get to a conclusion to build up towards the third game in this trilogy, but we'll see how that one goes. Overall, I enjoyed it, and also one of my biggest complaints with this game is that it's big. It's big, big, big. It is 155 gigabytes, and that is insane. First up, on the NES, I beat Friday the 13th, an LJN game that gets kind of a bad rap, but I enjoyed this game. Now, I do prefer A Nightmare on Elm Street because I just think that's a bit more of an overall better game, but this isn't bad either. You just gotta learn where Jason is, and you gotta learn the pattern, and once you get it done, it's really not that bad. But yeah, I really liked it, and the map isn't that confusing. Just move a little bit, check the map, and see which direction you're going, and it's not that bad. Pretty fun too, and Purple Jason's iconic. Next up, I beat Abadox. Abadox was a solid shooter. I got this from Video Games Monthly, and when I did the playtesting for it for Capture and stuff, I really enjoyed it, so I wanted to sit down and beat it. And this was a really fun game. Very cool visually, and the music is phenomenal. And the final NES game that I beat was Batman. This was an awesome game. I loved every second of it, and if you go and see Captain Algebra's video of everyone's game of the year, this was mine. It was between this and another game that I was struggling with to pick, but overall I went with this one just because I kind of surprised myself that I can get through this game because this is not an easy game. Same with Abadox, and I guess Friday the 13th is a little difficult, but yeah, Batman on the NES was a tough game, but we took down the Joker, and I was happy. Next up on the Nintendo 64, I beat 3 games, and let's get the bad one out of the way. We beat Paperboy 64. This game sucks, so get it the fuck out of here. Next up on the N64, I beat Conker's Bad Fur Day, a really fun platformer that was very vulgar, but it was really fun. I was invited to the Cartridge Club podcast to talk about this game, and it was really fun. It was a really fun discussion, and if you're going to ask me which 3D platformer I prefer on the N64 between this and Banjo-Kazooie, I much prefer Banjo-Kazooie. Now, I haven't played Donkey Kong 64 or Banjo-Tooie, so I can't really say which one's better for all those, but this was still really good. And then finally, on the N64, it's ironically another rare game. It's GoldenEye. GoldenEye is phenomenal. This was a really fun game, and I was kind of curious to see how well it holds up today. And honestly, it's not that bad. I think the N64 controller isn't terrible at all, and I had a really fun time with this game. I played this game when I was a kid, and I did play the story as a kid, but didn't really get too far because I didn't understand what I was doing. I was just shooting at random people. But yeah, phenomenal game. Still holds up, and I know it's on the Switch, but I think the N64 version is the way to go, especially with that controller. But yeah, and also another Cartridge Club podcast that I was on, so yeah, that's pretty sweet. Next up, on the PlayStation 1, I also beat 3 games for that system. First up, we have Driver, a really fun game, and I saw Tiger Chainsaw's review of this game, and it made me want to go check it out because I've always had it, but never really played it. The first level of the game is really not that bad. I know a lot of people struggle with that one, but trust me, the last stage in this game is way harder. Holy fuck, that was brutal. But when I got it done, I was so thrilled because I wanted to be done with this game. But it's a phenomenal game. The driving is pretty fun, and I'm looking forward to check out the rest of the series. And Tiger Chainsaw, where's that Driver 2 review? Just kidding, buddy. But yeah, Driver 1's really good. Next up, we beat Spyro the Dragon, a phenomenal game. This was really fun. This is another game I had when I was a kid, and I never beat it when I was a kid, and I just wanted to fuck around in it, but it was kind of funny though. When I did beat this game, I posted it up on the Discord, and Captain was like, so did you 100% it? And I was like, no, because usually I don't really 100% games, and he was like, you wimp. And I was like, motherfucker, I'm not a wimp. Okay, I'll go for 100%. And I did. And honestly, it wasn't that hard. It was pretty easy. But the final level that you get, the 100% stage, was really fun. That was one of the better stages in the game. But yeah, really good game, and I reviewed this. Looking forward to checking out the rest in the series. And finally, on the PlayStation 1, I beat Overblood, a survival horror game that is very jank. It has some terrible controls. The graphics are terrible. The story is god-awful, but I love it at the same time. This is not a good game, but I still really enjoyed it. Next up, I beat 3 games for the GameCube. First up, we beat Ed, and Eddie, The Misadventures, a pretty janky platformer if I had to be completely honest about this game, but I grew up with the cartoon and I enjoyed the nostalgia trip. Next up, and I was super late to the party on this one, Luigi's Mansion. And as far as like late is concerned, very late because this came out when I was like 4 or 5, but yeah. Didn't have this as a kid, and everyone talks about how this is an amazing game, and it really is. This is a phenomenal Luigi's Mansion survival horror-ish game, if you can even call it survival horror. But yeah, I really enjoyed this game. There was a lot of charm to it. Luigi is awesome, as you know, I got the Luigi hat. But yeah, I really enjoyed this game. Pretty short, but pretty fun. And I'm looking forward to checking out 2 and 3. And finally, the last GameCube game I beat last year was Star Fox Adventures, another Rare game, so I beat quite a few Rare games this year. This was a pretty good game, all things considered. However, I do think the development of this game is far more interesting than the game itself. I did a podcast for the Cartridge Club for this game. I don't know if that's released yet, but when it does, go check it out, because we go more in depth with this game, and that was a fun discussion. Next up on the PS4, I also beat 3 games for, and don't worry, this is the last console that I beat 3 games for, so yeah. First up, we have Assassin's Creed Black Flag. This is the first Assassin's Creed game I've ever played, and I enjoyed it. The pirate was pretty badass. I liked blowing ships up. It was pretty fun. Whaling is pretty fun in this game. Obviously not in real life, but in this game it was pretty cool. The story isn't all that interesting to me, but yeah. Kind of curious to see how the other games are, but I enjoyed this. And also I beat the Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry DLC for this game, and I enjoyed that one too. Next up, I played Days Gone, another Cartridge Club game of the month that I really enjoyed. The story took a little getting used to. It started off kind of slow, but once you get more into it, the story gets a bit better, and overall the gameplay is really fun. It's an open world survival game. The zombies are really fast, and once you encounter a horde for the first time, it's pretty intense. Who knows if we'll get a sequel to this game? I would really like to see one, but yeah, this was pretty good. And then finally on the PS4, this was more than likely going to be my game of the year, but ultimately I went with Batman. But Red Dead Redemption 2. This is awesome. This was a freaking amazing game. Amazing story, amazing characters, amazing world. I was fully enveloped in this game. Arthur Morgan is a phenomenal main character, and I also like Dutch as a villain. I love Red Dead Redemption on the Xbox 360 and PS3, so I really wanted to play this, but I was kind of late to it. It's a long game, so that's kind of what made me not want to get into it, but once you do get into it, this is really good. Like, honestly, like, I will love a Red Dead Redemption 3 slightly more than a Grand Theft Auto 6. But we're going to get GTA 6 first, so I'm not complaining by that, but yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2 is phenomenal. Really good game. And finally, the console I played the most games on was the PlayStation 2. I played 70 of these, and let's get through them. First up, we have Ico, a really phenomenal game. Very atmospheric, great music, and honestly pretty decent graphics. Next up, I played Beyond Good and Evil. Really interesting story on this one. The gameplay is pretty good, and overall I'm waiting for that sequel because I really enjoyed this. Next up, I played Ghost Rider. A pretty solid game. This would be a poor man's God of War. It's not bad, but it doesn't hold a candle to it. Next up, I played Snoopy vs. the Red Baron, a very solid flight game. I saw Metal Jesus had this for his Hidden Gems at one point, and it always looked interesting, and finally got it, and I played it, and I enjoyed it. Sorry for the stickers on this one. Next up is Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights. I know I gotta get rid of the stickers, but the game is pretty good. A really fun 3D platformer, and if you love Scooby-Doo, you'll probably like it. I also have a review of this too. All of the reviews I have for the games I beat this year will more than likely be in the description below, or just find them. Next up, Bad Boys Takedown Miami. This game is also pretty crap, but it's pretty funny. Honestly, the dialogue between the two characters are good. I haven't seen any of the movies, but I hear they're alright. Hopefully it's better than this game, though, because this game is pretty bad, honestly. And finally, the last game here, we have Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories. I did a review of this, and I really enjoyed making that. Thank you, Captain and Bargain Bin Hobo, for being in it. I enjoyed this game. I do prefer some of the other GTA games, but it's not bad. It's GTA. You gotta love it. And there you have it. I beat 34 games this year. Didn't get to the goal of 40, but it is what it is. My next goal really isn't any specific number. It's always going to be beat a game on every system that I own. So we're just going to go with the flow next time. I don't know how much that'll be, but I look forward to recapping it next year. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for me. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below on what games you thought were pretty cool. And if you do any of these kind of videos where you recap the games you beat in a year, let me know down below. And if you are planning to make a video like this, let me know down below as well. And I'll be sure to watch it because I really enjoy watching these videos and making them. They're really fun. Anyways, guys, I'll see you next time.